Listen, never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
We talk about it every day.
Getting on baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to wait in line for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
All right, I was watching a football game the other day, and it dawned on me. There is nobody I'd rather be talking to right now than Torey Lovullo. Why? Because he appeared on my screen on the football game, the Buffalo Bills football game. It was for some, it was like, oh, well, that was a great thing that the Arizona Diamondbacks manager was on TV. For me, it was just a reminder how much I wanted to talk to Torey Lovullo. Hello.
I think that's your lead in with everybody. That's your shtick. I don't know. You make me feel so important right now, but then I turn around and listen to another one of your Baseballs and Boring podcasts, and you have the same type of opening. Am I really one of your favorites? Honestly.
Yeah. Well, first of all, you won an award. I flew someone to the winter meetings last year to present you an award, my friend Gordo.
Yeah.
For as being one of our favorites, but also. That's only half true from your perspective, because I know that the only podcast you listen to of Baseballs and Boring, which is fine, there's a lot of things to do, is the one that your boss is on, Mike Hazen. That is accurate, correct?
That's pretty accurate. How you got Mike to do that? He is definitely not that type of personality where he's going to be like, Rob, I got you. Let's do this. Let's go for it. And then he fired away with you. Like, it was pretty good. It was really good.
Well, the thing is that we made a wager, and I can't really say what the wager is, but I should thank you for helping pay off on the wager. And that he had to appear at the date of the wager. He had to appear at any time that I asked him to come on the podcast, even in the middle of the night after this wager was made, after that I won. So nice. Okay. Yeah, so that's part of it. He was contractually obligated to come on. So don't think that he was like, oh my goodness, he loved coming on so much. No, he hates. You know why he hates coming on? You know why?
Because he hates attention.
No, he loves coming on. He loves talking. Because let's be honest, he can say he hates it, but he loves it because you know.
Deep down, I think there's a piece of that. I agree.
Yeah,
with that.
It's because we're just we're just talking. Just some guys chopping it up. He doesn't like the video element of it.
Oh.
He doesn't like the clips. He's always
I got you.
Micromanaging his appearance.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, the hair, the dress. I got you. I can see that. And look, we've known each other a long time. Like, and you've known Mike even longer than you've known me, right? I think we're going on 12, 14 years of a friendship. You can back that up another 7 or 8 for him. So yeah, I think you got him. I think you're spot on.
Now they never let him out of the basement before when he was farm director.
How about that old basement? That thing was pretty good. Yeah,
tearing the whole thing down. But I as a quick aside, I told him in order to build him up, I said he was legit top 15, most in shape, best presented, most presentable GM / president of baseball operations in baseball. And I stand by it. He is top tier, right?
Agree. Yeah. He's kind of like, he's going to kill me that we're talking about him right now, but I really don't care. This is great. Just keep going. Yeah. He's in phenomenal shape. I mean, he works out real. I've seen it. I've worked out with him many times, and he gets after it. He there's a purpose when he's walking into the gym. He doesn't mess around.
Chris Antonelli's the top, right? He's the top physical specimen for GM.
Yeah. Chris is probably one of the most dedicated, disciplined friends that I know. So yeah, but he rivals Chris. They're both very intense in that space.
Ooh, I feel like I'm probably in top 5 most disciplined friends that you know as well. So I appreciate it. You don't get this by just waking up and doing podcasts.
Oh boy. You're leading me right down that. You're leading me right into the Boston Marathon. Hey, I'm sorry, but anyway. Yeah. So I did go to the Buffalo Bills football game. It was me. And I can promise you, I know how to wear a beanie. It was just hot. I was trying to let my ears cool off a little bit, and they caught me in my worst moment. But I was there. I was there to support a friend and Sean McDermott. I have very strong ties to Buffalo, New York. My wife was born and raised here. That's where I am right now. So we bought a home in Grand Island. We spent several weeks, if not months, of the off season here trying to pay it back to her. She's followed me around for 20 plus years all over this country. And along the way, I've spent time getting to know the Buffalo Bills coaching staff. Brandon Beane, the GM, Sean McDermott, the head coach, are a couple guys that I spent a little bit of time with in the offseason. So I was out at the game and got clipped. And I didn't even think Jim Nantz knew who I was, for crying out loud. It was one of those moments. It was one of those moments where you're like, what? Okay, this is pretty cool.
All right. There's three things I want to get to.
Yeah.
The actual moment. There's what you've learned from the Buffalo Bills friendship, the coaching staff, which is the wonky, educating young minds question. But the other thing was, I'm going to tell you something. When you stepped away before you came on, and I could just see your window, I was literally laughing out loud because you have a string of Christmas lights.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's almost, first of all, crazy early to put up Christmas lights. And also, it's just a string of Christmas lights, which it feels like, we got to do something. It's like,
Okay. We'll get back to the Buffalo Bills. Okay? Great recognition. I did step away. I had to let my son's dog out for a second. And I appreciate you seeing the little things in the room. That's right. You were sitting there studying it. Last year, I'll tell you this, I did not put up Christmas lights until after Thanksgiving in Buffalo, New York. Okay. Pre-Thanksgiving, everything's dated here in Buffalo. Like it starts with Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter decorations, 4th of July decorations, and then the cycle starts all over again. I got clipped last year and could only put up a fraction of Christmas lights that I wanted to because I was literally in freezing weather, and I'm from Southern California. So it's now like 14, 13 degrees out, and I'm running out, stringing up as many as I can, going back in the garage, sitting next to the heater, running out for 3 minutes, putting it up. I'm like, I ain't doing that this year. So I hit it hard. It's been 54, 58 degrees in the days prior to right now. And I'm like, I'm going to go out there and just crush it. And I'm out there in short sleeves, a hat, and sweatpants. It worked out just fine. But what happens is guys like you see that it's up as early as it's up. All I got to do now on December 3rd is go, and I got a house full of Christmas.
And for anyone who sees this, it's literally, it's basically saying, here are 5 lights strung up over a window. Look at me. I decorated really, really early this year, right? I mean, come on. This isn't exactly Jingle All the Way. I mean, come on.
No. It's not a Clark Griswold situation.
No.
For sure.
No.
We bought the house a little over a year ago. So I'm still trying to figure out the house. It's like buying a new car. You got to figure out all the nuances. I got to figure out the house, and it's going to take me a little time before I have something that looks like that right there.
Listen, you gotta walk before you can run. And so,
there you go.
All right. So the day that you were caught on camera by Jim Nantz said, if you do nothing else, make sure you show Torey Lovullo in the audience, in the stands. I texted you a photo. My wife was telling me something very important at the time, and I said, hold that thought.
Yeah.
DVR, boom, photo. This has to be documented. Yeah. What was when did because I'm sure I was like one of like 1,000 people who texted you.
Yeah.
When did it start? Did it start blowing up right away?
Within probably 2 minutes of it happening, everybody sees it. They do the same thing. They take a picture of it. They go, they freeze it, go back. My youngest son was there, and he said that he got a text from one of his buddies that They just ran across us and found us. And then it kept going after that. So it was my son's friends that alerted us. And then now you pick up your phone and you're like, oh my God, what is it? What did they see? Was I drinking a water or something that's more adult like? You're just kind of holding your breath. So yeah, it really exploded when you sent out the tweet, for sure. That's the kind of guy you are. You're that popular. You're that wired in. But that was Ryan Dempster, Tommy Pham, our baseball ops, our team, our social media team. They all picked up on your tweet. So at that point, you made me famous, man. You gave me my 35 seconds of fame. So I really, really appreciate it. But yeah, it was one after another. Just kept going. And I'm like, all right, I got to put my phone away and watch a football game.
I'm gonna tell you what I told you in 2013. Your brand has never been harder. So to go to, you said you're friends with the Buffalo coaching staff, which is cool, which is a great thing. I love anytime that happens. All right, this is to educate young minds, because we're here to educate, inform, and entertain. What being around Sean McDermott and these guys, is there anything that you're like, oh man, that really hits? That hits. Because before you go, Torey, I'm going to praise you again. I've said this a million times. I've said it to a million people. You are one of the most inquisitive people that I know. So you actually care about learning things. So what have you learned from them?
Yeah, well, first of all, I appreciate that. And I feel like when you're curious, you learn and you never stop. And I genuinely am interested in people that are in front of me or things that are around me. I really like getting to know the things that I'm around. And sometimes I'm not close to it, and I still am very curious about it. So I think that's just my personality overall. But being able to cast out into another sport, we kind of get this gift wrapped present for one another in baseball, right? We all share the common thoughts, the common ideas, and we all basically do the same thing. And it's the people that can kind of sniff out things outside of the box, I feel like, get that little edge. And I'm always looking for that little edge. And nothing against the other managers. I don't want to sound like I'm the smartest manager because I'm going elsewhere. I'm sure everybody else is as well. But baseball is very rhetorical, and it happens over and over and over and over again. So I'm interested in bigger segments that are chunked down into one day, in one moment, in one play. What does it look like when you practice something 35 times, 40 times over a 3-week period of time, and you don't use it, but all of a sudden pull it out and your team executes it perfectly when it's a time of need. It's about the game planning and the organization of it. And that's how my mind works. And I think we do the same thing. And it's mostly our spring training is very similar to their in-game routine. It's a Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday process. But they're constantly practicing, constantly working. So I'm honing some of the ideas that I want to bring to spring training, how you can work on it, how often do you work on it when you want to pull it out of your satchel and use it on a Thursday in Detroit when you haven't even talked about it, but you need it in your game planning when you're talking to your team about in an advance meeting. And then there's just the common things about what drives you, what motivates you, what is happening every single day. How can you motivate young men? That's the challenge that we all face every single day. And nobody's better at it than Sean McDermott. And I feel like our worlds really overlap because we're very similar with how we see things, how we address things. And we talk about how we talk about winning the day. Don't focus on anything other than today. And I went into his press conference the other day and he said, look, I got a good friend of mine over here, Torey Lovullo is here. If you want to know anything, ask him because he knows how to answer these questions better than I do. So I took that as a compliment because I feel like we are the same kind of person.
Well, first of all, when you went into the press conference, did you imitate me running the marathon like you do for every press conference?
I did not. No. I mean, it's one of the top 10 Boston Red Sox highlights of my career. And look, we're talking about winning World Series. We're talking about beating the Rays in 4 games to go to the ALDS, beating the Tigers in the ALDS, and the AL, win the ALDS, beating the Tigers to win the ALCS. Like those are big moments, right? Really big moments. David Ortiz hitting his 500th home run.
Yeah.
All the little nuances that happen inside of a clubhouse that nobody knows about that I'll carry with me forever. I got a lot of things in my backpack. And in the top 10 is Rob Bradford running by me at the Boston Marathon, looking like he was getting ready to fall over and he couldn't see straight. And I basically was right in front of you, cheering you on, and you didn't even acknowledge me. You're like
3 feet away. 3 feet away.
It was literally 3 feet away. And everybody says that's where you really need those inspirational moments. Like any clap that you hear, you look over your shoulder, like, yeah, I got this. I was there to give you I was full throttle for you. I was giving you all I had, and you didn't even see me.
I am going to recreate that. Thank you for reminding me. If nothing else, I'm going to make myself into a meme. But so I want to go back to what you were saying about, the evolution of coaching, and you made it to the World Series. This is again sort of a cliche question, but when you lived the World Series, and then you watch the World Series a year later, what do you sort of pick apart from it? Is there anything? I mean, Torey, like baseball, in the thing that jumps out to me was, did you realize of the teams in the World Series, there was the pitcher who had pitched the most innings combined, regular season, postseason, was like 180 something, Carlos Rendon. You had Zach Gallen, you had over 240 innings, right? I do think that there is that value to having that guy to pitch. So anyway, that's my thing. When you watch sort of this run, this postseason, how did it hit compared to when you were actually going through it?
Yeah, last year you just get into this rhythm and it's just you go and you're just kind of numb to anything else other than being there for your team, being there for your coaches, and then following the routine and the process of your day. Do you know who Sebastian Maniscalco is?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so do you ever see the Chipotle routine where he does, lettuce, tomato, chicken, salsa, and then the next person, same thing, chicken, lettuce, tomato, salsa. It's like the same thing every day, right? And he's talking about the servers at Chipotle get into this rhythm where they just do it. They're just automatic. Oh, you want corn? Boom. Okay, corn too. So I feel like I was in that kind of a mindset where I was like, just go, just do it. And we kept winning. And then there was this belief when you came into the clubhouse, like it wasn't the last day. Like we were going to do something really, really special. And I feel like this year we were on the same path. We really were. We won 89 games. We were the last team out. We tied, the Braves and the Mets for wins. We lost in a tiebreaker. It was heartbreaking. I'm not going to lie. It was absolutely heartbreaking. And I hurt for this organization. I hurt for the Arizona Diamondbacks. I hurt for everybody inside of it that dedicated 182 days plus spring training to making it to the big dance, and we didn't get in. So I zoned out. I tuned out for about a week. But I started to watch some of the games later, ALCS, NLCS. That's when you really start to lock it in, and it's getting close. But what I started to pay attention to, and I'm not here to harp on anybody. I was a team that was watching and sitting in my living room, and clearly we need to be better. But teams that play fundamental baseball, teams that do the little things, teams that get good starting pitching that kind of bleed into the later innings of the game, which you just talked about a little bit right now. Those are the teams that are going to stand up, and those are the teams that are going to be fairly consistent. There was a new blend of baseball that was played in this postseason. It was really about getting your starter in for 2 times through the lineup, and then wham, rely on the bullpen. And it works. But I love the horses we have. We had such a well-balanced team, and we were really hitting on all cylinders except for the last several games of the season. We finally had our starters that were healthy and ready. Merrill Kelly was throwing well. Zach Gallen was hitting the tail end. Everybody was healthy. And I felt like if we got in, we were going to be one of those teams that I was watching. And that was also in my mind. But getting back to what your question was, I feel like it's just the fundamentals of the baseball game, of a baseball team that play the baseball game the right way. That's going to always take you a long way.
I do think, and you talk about this postseason, and obviously you had teams that relied so heavily on the bullpen, more so than any. I think Torey, it was the first time ever that relievers threw more innings than starters in the postseason. But
Yeah.
what we can't lose sight of is guys like you had, in Kelly and Gallen to protect the bullpen. I mean, even with the Dodgers, it was like, yeah, they had bullpen games, but they had guys to protect themselves. Like there has to be those guys. I still think baseball is built on top of starting rotations, which, I think that you guys are still in pretty good shape with, right? So yeah.
Yeah, we are. We're in a really good spot. We've got to close in on getting 3 new pitching coaches. We've named one, and Brian Kaplan, and we're honing in on the final 2 of this puzzle. We recently found a third base coach, infield coach. So that's taken up a lot of our off season. We vetted it and did a really nice job of interviewing and finding the best candidates that'll fit into what we're trying to do here every single day. But yeah, we are in a really good spot. And for me, Rob, I don't want to sound like I'm a baseball purist and I know it all, but I am fairly traditional, and I've evolved because you have to in this game. But isn't it all based on starting pitching? If you get good starting pitching, it's the game is played in a very clean way. It sets a tone for the day. You get 6 or 7 out of your starting pitcher. You're preserving the bullpen. You got guys that are going to give you 60 appearances instead of 75. That's right in the sweet spot. And you're going to get them for a long time. And starting pitchers are built a different way. They're built for a marathon, and relievers are built for 1 inning plus. And that's just kind of what their mindset is. I always love the fan in the first row. Joe Mantiply is out there on blood and guts throwing 2 innings, and he's given up no hits, and he's throwing 9 pitches in 2 innings. And I take him out of the game, and the guy in the front row is like, "You idiot! Why are you taking him out of the game?" And I want to scream like, because if he throws 1 more pitch, he's gonna like collapse on the mound. He's gassed, and I need the short sprint tomorrow. So a little bit like hockey lines, right?
Yeah.
Relievers are the hockey players that are switching lines constantly, and the starters are like marathon runners.
I feel like you're jacked up for next year.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I think we're ready.
No, man, I feel like maybe it's because you're jacked up from like having the football mentality, having that infused in your veins, which is a thing, right? Like you're talking about like focusing on every day. Well, it's easier in football, but like in baseball, there's a lot more days.
Yeah.
But still, like I love the fact that you were immersed in that. And I do feel because of your success last year, because of you have some pieces which not only do you have, but I think you're going to be able to fit. And you have a system, you have a program, much like my high school basketball team. We have a system. We run isolations. So we have a program. But you won the Manager of the Year in 2017. You've evolved and you've landed here. By the way, congratulations on your 2 second place votes. Excellent job.
Oh, is that what I got? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't even know that.
No. Did you?
I don't vote for National League.
Vote?
No, it's actually like in the bylaws. It said I can't vote in anything you're a part of. By the way, we did have breaking news on the Baseballs and Boring today. We have cemented the date that Joe Kelly and I are getting baseball and boring tattoos.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah.
When is that happening?
No, December 18th, Mr. Cartoon, the most famous tattoo artist there is.
Okay.
Do you have any tattoos?
I do.
I didn't know that.
I do have a tattoo. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, we have a third chair if you want to sit with us.
I love you like my brother, but I think I'm gonna hold off on that one. And I will support you in every way possible other than getting a tattoo. And is it going to be the red baseball isn't boring font that I see behind you? Is it going to be something like that?
Yeah, we don't know. I'm leaving the hands of the most famous tattoo artist there is, Mr. Cartoon.
Yeah.
So
sounds like a stud. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So it was an arrangement. If the Dodgers won, Joe said, yes, we're going to do it. So, okay, we're going to do it. So why not? But
that's awesome. JK is one cool customer, man. I remember my time with him in Boston, and you talk about a competitor. He was a starting pitcher back then, right? Like he would get after it every fifth day. But the 4 days in between, it was comedy hour, and I would just spend more time paying attention to him than the game. I was a bench coach and I should have been doing more work. But how can you not appreciate that sense of humor, right?
And listen, I think that we're all the same. We gravitate to genuine people who like to have fun. So there it is. But
Yeah,
I do want to say thank you for once again appearing. And I know that your boss will now get jealous and immediately want to come back on. But good stuff ahead. Really good stuff ahead. Like I said, I can tell that you're enthused, you're enthusiastic, you're ready to go. And your organization's in a good spot. So you don't need to hear that from me, and you don't need to put a baseballs and boring sticker in your hat for good luck, because you've already made your luck, my friend. Well,
you're a good man. You're a good man. I appreciate that. That's a good wrap up right there. But you know what? I failed to, and this is my own fault. The one game we won in the 2023 World Series, I had the sticker in my hat. And you have so many hats in the postseason that you're getting a new hat like every day, and you don't know where everything is. And the baseballs and boring sticker was in the game 2 hat, and I don't even know where the game 2 hat is right now. To this day, I don't know where it is. The sticker's still in it.
You put the baseballs and boring sticker in your hat for game 2, the only game that you won in the World Series.
Yeah.
You didn't use that hat, but I do appreciate when you get up to the podium of you immediately looking at your hat and giving like the nod of the head. And I thought, there's no team I want to win the World Series more now than the Arizona Diamondbacks. So, but yeah, and just the last thing real quick. You always bless us with the workshopping of the motivational speech for spring training.
Yeah.
You have that? Has that percolated at all? Like, we're gonna hit them high, we're gonna hit them low.
A little bit. I'll tell you where I'm thinking. I'm thinking about, right. It's always moving. The brain's always moving.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about something like focusing on being a good teammate, right? And that speaks to everybody. But like my neighbors here in Buffalo, right? If I need something from like my neighbor to the west, if I need somebody to go out and mow the 15 acres that we have, he's there. If I need to go over here and ask to borrow a tool from my neighbor to the east, like he's perfect. So I've been living in that space, and I'm like, I want to be a good neighbor. I want to be that guy that everybody depends on. So I'm thinking about something along the lines of, everybody wants to be a good neighbor. It takes work and a commitment. Now be a good neighbor to your brother sitting beside you.
Mow each other's lawns. Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you. Thank you, Torey.